The St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program now has lowered their government fees on their donation option, which is the Sustainable Growth Fund option, and also on the real estate option. And there's another option I'm also going to be talking about that they've changed the fees on those too. Usually when you see stuff like this, as time goes on, these fees are actually raised, okay? In this case, they've actually dropped them. And St. Kitts really doesn't have to do this because it really is the golden standard out there in citizenships. As I mentioned to you before, when you look for a citizenship program, you want to try to find one that has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. These are the things that you want to look for. I've been through other videos, I've told people you're making a mistake by getting citizenship in a place that has an income tax. Turkey's a good example. Why people do it, I don't understand. You want a place that you can go and live in and not pay an income tax, okay? If you run a local business, St. Kitts, you can do that, okay? So these are some things that you need to look at. Now, again, they didn't have to come out with this, and they did, but they're running this only for about 6 months. So if you're thinking about doing it, I would get in this. I mean, that's what I would be doing. So, like I said before, this program here is, you don't just look at visa-free travel. That's one thing, and that's an important thing. St. Kitts and Nevis have more visa-free countries that you can go to, visa-free or visa-free on arrival countries and territories, than any of the fast-track programs in the Caribbean. Doesn't have an income tax. This is another key thing. No military requirements. These are some things that you need to be looking for when you're looking for a citizenship program. All right, now let's look at the changes that have occurred and the cost, and you can see how it works. The Sustainable Growth Fund option, it was established with a view of facilitate economic development and social upliftment in St. Kitts and Nevis. The fund is also used to provide financial support for educational institutions and medical facilities in the nation, as well as to provide additional funding for the construction of infrastructure, the development of local tourism, the preservation of local culture and heritage, and the support of sustainable growth initiatives in the country. All right, now this promotion is only going to be going on for a real short period of time, okay? So you need to take that in consideration. It started January the 1st, 2023, and it's going to go until June the 30th, 2023. Now, this is on the Sustainable Growth Fund option that I'm talking about on here, okay? Now, let's look at the on how this is set up. To further enhancement of the attractiveness of the citizenship program, the CIU has decided to make a limited time offer for a period of 6 months. And these are the fees. The main applicant is going to be $125,000. If you've got the main applicant and spouse, it's $150,000. If you have the main applicant, spouse, and 2 dependents, it's $170,000. Each additional dependent under 18 years old is going to be $10,000, and each additional dependent over 18 is going to be $25,000. Now, applications submitted under the LTO program will benefit from the reduction of the minimum amount of contribution payable by applicants and will qualify for the accelerated application process with a shortening of processing time frame from 90 days to 60 days. This is the key, at no additional cost, okay? Now, this is the only one they're giving you reduced fees on all of them, but it's the only one that's given the accelerated additional, that normally is an additional cost. They're taking that out the window during this 6-month period, okay? So now, from July the 1st to 2023 onwards, these are going to be the fees, okay? Now, main applicant is going to be $150,000. If you've got a main applicant and a spouse, which is 2 people, it's $175,000. Main applicant, spouse, and 2 dependents, which is 4 people, is $195,000. Now, each additional dependent under 18 years old would be $10,000, and then each additional dependent 18 and over would be $25,000. All right, now let's look at the real estate option and how it works. From January the 1st, 2023 onwards, only approved developments will be eligible for the real estate investment option under this new citizenship by investment regime. Now, the minimum real estate investment required by law is $200,000, resellable after 7 years. But one thing they don't mention here, which I wish they would put in here, they don't, it gets confusing, is that has to be a fractional unit. You can't buy a full unit where you own the whole property for $200,000. Now, if they've changed that, they have not put it here and they didn't put it in the other one, you literally had to go to the Citizenship by Investment department and find that out, okay? Because they didn't mention that in there. But if you go $200,000, it's resellable after 7 years. But just assume it's going to be fractional unless I tell you otherwise, okay? If you go with a full unit where you own 100% of it, it's going to be $400,000. It's going to be the minimum. Now, upon submission of the application, non-refundable due diligence fees must also be paid. In addition to these fees, real estate buyers should be aware of purchase costs such as mainly compulsory insurance, fund contributions, and conveyance fees. These are fees like title insurance, which they call guaranteed funds, and the fees to change the title from the seller to the buyer. Okay, so those fees, it depends on the price that you're paying for the property. The reason they don't have a stated amount in there because it's a percentage based on the property that you're buying. All right, now let's look at the private home sales option because this is different than the real estate option. Although this is real estate, it's done differently, okay? The private home sale investment option will be retained as a permanent investment option under the Citizenship by Investment program where the minimum investment per application is $400,000 in a private single-family dwelling house designated as an approved private home. 2 or more applicants may apply for the Citizenship by Investment together by purchasing one piece of real estate, provided each main applicant contributes the minimum amount, which is $400,000. Now, the full purchase price will be placed in an irrevocable escrow trust, or actually escrow account. What this does is it protects you to make sure those funds are going to the proper place, and it stays there until your citizenship is approved. Now, owners of any properties previously designated as approved private homes will have a 45-day window to reapply to keep their status as an approved private home upon the coming into effect of the new Citizenship by Investment regulations. Owners of such properties are required to apply to the Board of Governors of the CIU to have their properties redesignated as an approved private homes again. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. Number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Now, an approved private home is subject to the following restrictions. Number 1 is it cannot be resold within 7 years. Number 2 is it cannot be resold to any other Citizenship by Investment applicant. And number 3 is it cannot be converted into apartments or condominiums. Now, regular Citizenship by Investment real estate approved developments that have never been used for citizenship before, and they're not mentioning this here, but I can tell you this is how it's going to work, okay, unless they made changes from the prior administration, is if you bought property, if a citizenship property was bought in the past before January 1st, 2012, it cannot be reused under the Citizenship by Investment program again under the real estate option, okay. It could go under the private home option, but the structure is going to have to appraise for $400,000 US without the property, the lot itself. It's going to have to be title property. It cannot be a deed of conveyance. So these are some things that that requirements under that option. Now there is a third option called the public good investment option. Okay, now from January 2023 onwards. The alternative investment option, we'll call this the AIO under the current Citizenship by Investment program, is to be replaced by the newly introduced public good investment option called the PGIO, where the minimum investment per application is $175,000 into an approved public good investment payable to an approved public good investor. Only approved public good investments qualify for the PGIO. Now, all developments previously designated as an AIO development will lose such designation within 45 days of the coming into effect of the new Citizenship by Investment regulations. Now, investors of such developments are required to apply to the Board of Governors of the CIU to be designated as an approved public good investors, whereby they can apply to have their investments designated as an approved public good investments. Now, this is an opportunity where if you really want to get in, where it's thousands of dollars less, man, this is a great deal. And I've told people in the past that when you go for programs like this, you need to go while you can. If you've got any sort of criminal record, it's going to be very, very difficult to get into a program like this. And things change too. If you ever get in a lawsuit, and this has happened, I can't tell you, it's happened several times with me. Some people have waited to get in these programs, and then all of a sudden, for some unusual reason, they get into a lawsuit, and then they don't settle the lawsuit. They try to protect their assets. And then what happens is they end up not being able to qualify to get citizenship because maybe they got a judgment against them now. These are some of the things that I would tell you. You don't want to be waiting to get done. You want to get this done, while you've got a good record. I mean, it's just amazing to me how people just put off things and put off things and put off things, and they don't get things done, and then they have a problem. So these are some things that I would be looking at in trying to get in something like this soon. All right, now let's look at, again, the government fees on this program here. The following application fees shall be paid to the unit for every non-accelerated citizenship by investment application. Remember, these, unlike the Sustainable Growth Fund option, this one, the real estate option and also the private home option and the PGIO investment option, you're going to have to pay extra if you want the accelerated fees, okay, which I'll go over that with you here. Now, the standard application fees for real estate, private home, and PGIO investment options for the main applicant is $25,000. For the spouse, it's $15,000. For the dependent child under 18, it's $10,000. If it's over 18 for a dependent child, it's going to be $15,000. Now, under the accelerated route, these are additional fees if you want it quicker under this option, okay, and also under the private home option and the real estate option. It's under the accelerated route, the citizenship by investment application is processed within 60 calendar days of the filing date of the application. Now, to qualify, the following application fees are payable to the unit once approval in principles is granted. All right, these are extra fees again, and they're also called accelerated citizenship by investment application fees. It's $42,000 extra for the main applicant, $32,500 for the spouse, and then $22,500 for the dependent child under 18, and then $37,500 for the dependent child other than the dependent that's over 18. Now, there are due diligence fees on top of this. Upon submission of the application, non-refundable due diligence fees must also be paid. The fees amount to $7,500. For the main applicant, you got $4,000 for each dependent who is over the age of 16 years old or will turn 16 within 3 months of submission of the application. This is another reason that you need, if you've got children that's pretty close to 16 years old, I would be getting this in quick because you're looking at $4,000 extra dollars US for every one that turns 16 years old. So you want to get this done before they're 16. I know it says over 16, but they need to change this on the wording. It's once they hit 16 years old, okay? So instead of being over 16, it's 16 and over is the way it should be worded, okay? So they would have to pay an extra $4,000 US dollars in fee per child that's 16 and over. So if you've got a child that's 15, you better be jumping real quick, okay? Application processing fees, there is a non-refundable application form processing fee of $250 US dollars that's payable to the unit for every citizenship by investment application. So if you've got you got your spouse, yourself, and 2 children, that's 250 times 4, that's $1,000 extra dollars for that. So it's $250 for each family member that you've got that's wanting to get citizenship. If you want to know more of this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Again, if you want to know more on this, get new videos quickly. They're free. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here, and you'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.